What's going on, guys? I hope y'all are doing well this evening. I apologize for being a little late today. I've just been kind of working a little extra this past couple days and stuff like that, so it's just been a little a little wild trying to get everything together. But okay, I'm gonna get into the crypto charts here. Okay, so um, we are seeing some interesting develops with the volume weighted average price. It is now pointing down, which is not necessarily a good thing. Funny enough, though, we are seeing the EMAs kind of hold up as support. We did kind of have this like morning kind of dump. I believe it went like down a couple percent. It was like 2 or 3% or something like that. Um, yeah, because these candles they start around like 7, I believe. Yeah, they close at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm in Central Time. So like when it's nighttime, technically that's when the day begins or whatever the hell. Anyway, so we did have a dump, but price is now actually averaging above the candle body of yesterday. So actually, we're looking at a bullish instance at this time. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. All right. So let me go to the TSI here. The TSI, I mean, it's been choppy it's been a couple of days. It's been kind of crazy in regards to the choppiness, the level of chop. So yeah, 6 days of choppiness. It's been kind of nasty. Yeah, this has been a scalper's dream this past week, in terms of a length or whatever. Um, yeah, it's been sideways pretty much, but in between this particular channel, but really at the end of the day, averaging slightly above these lows. I'm sorry, but we do have a local bottom at 22.6, and yeah, if within the next 40 minutes, this candle, if it's able to close above 23.166, basically the base of yesterday's day or today's daily candle, or yesterday's, sorry, daily candle. That's actually a good sign for the bulls. That is interesting to see in real time. Yeah, I just got back. I haven't been looking at the charts much today, not gonna lie. Whoa, whoops a daisy. All right. Yeah, let me see. Alrighty. Let me go to the daily right here. Okay. So we are seeing waning sell pressure at this time with the potential of maybe coming to the upside. It's a little wonky. I don't like seeing things like this where it's just like completely lopsided. I'd rather see more developed structures. This to me kind of looks like, okay, a little fake out attempt to the downside, kind of heading up and then maybe even coming down a little bit more. Is this too much? Too much in my opinion to really call it at this time. It looks very choppy on the daily perspective. Now on the TSI, as long as we're above 23.3K, we're still moving to the upside. So that's interesting to see on the TSI. Now, interesting enough on the MACDX here, we are seeing a slight development of downside pressure here on the faster moving average, but then as you can see, as a slow moving average as well. Now there's still an opportunity to break above this, but you know that we're just not there yet. You have to assume bearishness up until this point. Now we are kind of having a neutral zone type of attempt here. Could this be a bounce? You know, could tonight or tomorrow be like the bounce attempt where we kind of continue up to the upside, or is this the crossing event where we actually start printing lower lows on the RSI? So as you can see, even here on the daily RSI, um, we do have higher lows here. So you can't call a dumpage just yet. A dumpage on the daily would kind of actually, in my opinion, kick off that true breakdown of this rising channel pattern, which you can see with this diagonal red line and this diagonal green line here. You see this channel? This is bearish. I do expect, though, there is confluence right here, roughly at like 26.2, 26.3. So I do suspect price to, you know, kind of at least pump to over here to really confirm uh, this zone as true resistance. That has not happened yet. So, um, it's just the rules of how trading is. Once a farmer's support, which was down here at 25.3, once the farmer's support was broken as support, it flips to resistance for a little while. So we're kind of in that limbo area, unfortunately. Macro, I do think this winter time will be the true bottom. I mean, anything could happen, but just given the macro environment, despite the positive things that are happening, right? Uh, the Federal Reserve, you don't want to fight the Fed on this. The Fed is determined to fight inflation, and inflation is the main driver of asset prices expanding to the upside. So, if they quell inflation, then you could ultimately expect people to go risk off and people to get scared and to ultimately, vie for lower prices. Now, as a trader, I mean, that's just volatility. That's pretty much imprinted in the next coming months. I do believe possibly by the end of next year or quarter 1 of next year, we'll actually see that true reversal attempt and the Federal Reserve actually turning the printers back on, if you will, for the equities markets and all that kind of stuff to really reap those rewards. But anyway, I am digressing. I'm talking more macro as opposed to charts. I got to get back on that. All right. So, interesting. We are seeing consistent higher lows here. Can this actually print a higher low? Another higher low on the 4-hour. Ooh, that'd be cool. Let's go to the 2-hour. Let's kind of skip through it. Ooh, we got a little buy signal right here. That's pretty cool. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna go back to the 4. All right. The 4-hour is more respected, but I like the 2-hour because it is a precursor to the 4. Okay, so we are seeing a little exploratory efforts below the 100, or is this the 50? Yeah, it's the 50 EMA. But we are still above the 100 EMA on the 4-hour, so, you know, last time it tapped the 4-hour 100 EMA, the support and resistance indicator actually, ratcheted up a support line, and these are very powerful, honestly. These support lines are very, very powerful. Ultimately, though, we did break this resistance here at 23.6, and we got halted in our tracks here at a macro uh, main key resistance. But ultimately, it's nice to see price actually ratcheting up the local lows to hopefully begin that process of actually breaking through this quote unquote heart line and attempt to see some action finally above 26.2, 27.6. That's conjecture at this point due to lack of data. But given that the money flow is kind of pointing to the upside and we're having waning sell pressure, let me go to the Heikinashi candles. Yeah, we're having choppiness, you know what I mean? So it's not like fat red dips as it was before. We're seeing more frequent dips, but they're like less intense in terms of depth, which is a good sign. Now we haven't seen buyers in a while, so it's more likely than not to actually see buyers coming in as the week unfolds, frankly. And the EMAs are still bullish. They're still bullish colors at this time. So yeah, at the end of the day, I got to be you know, I have to be biased. So unfortunately, I did print like a inverted head and shoulders, but it got completely nullified. I want to show you that because I had done something where essentially, wait, was it the 1-hour? Yeah, it was the 1-hour. It was just completely wrecked, frankly. The concept. Let me just make this real fat and different color there. And let me draw out, where are you at? There you go. Let me draw out that. So essentially this was an inverted head and shoulders pattern that got completely nullified. You see when the neckline breaks, and price just shoots down, this is no longer a true indicator of where price is going. I mean, it was entertaining, but at the same time, the neckline did not hold, therefore it was just an invalidated inverse head and shoulders pattern. Really, we're kind of just bouncing around in between, 24.2 and 22.1 at this time. Really, I think maybe 22.5. That's a little bit safer to say at this time, but yeah, it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, like you have to be consistent in regards to what you can call a true pattern, or what really is just invalidated at this point. So that's why I kind of took it off the peer view of yeah, all of this stuff here. It's already kind of intense to keep track of all the patterns anyway. But in regards to the 4-hour TSI, it is in the negative. Momentum is to the downside with a lower high, and also we did have a sell signal that's truly playing out at this time. At that point, it's at its current junctures. Yeah, I was at 2.6%. Alright, so let me go to the 4-hour on the other indicators here. So as you can see, the MACD is actually expanding. We may have a hidden bullish divergence kind of coming up. Usually when you have like a low and then a lower low and then it kind of wanes, you do kind of have that hidden bullish divergence. It's weak. It so it's not ideal to do any significant long-term holds at those points, but yeah, like at this time it's just not ideal. Also, here at 23.6, as long as price is below 23.6, we can see prices go to the downside. Now the RSI here is teetering into the bearish control zone. It's attempting to break above it, but I don't like it when the RSI breaks below the slow moving average, and usually what happens is it attempts to bounce, and it officially confirms it as resistance, but that's a little too early to tell. It did kind of print a higher low instance right here, so that's still in the cards. Okay, so I did skip the MACD-X, but the MACD-X is bulling to the downside. This is not a good sign for bulls, but the fast-moving average has yet to create, well, you could argue actually, yeah, from a wider, if you zoom more out, it still kind of has an, well, actually, no, it did break out. Yeah, this is not good in regards to the fast-moving average trend. The slow-moving average trend I do have more emphasis on, and there was a sell signal on the 9th of August, so yeah, I do have to lean a little bit more bearish at this time. Really losing, I believe it was, what was it? It was 23.5. Losing 23.5 as support, really, like basically this line right here. Let me go back to the candle so you can see it better. Usually when price breaks a previous higher, a previous local high, it tries to get back tested as support, but as you can see right here, it was unable to officially do so. So that was a big indicator that, yeah, we were going to see some epic movement in the more intraday, which was the 1-hour time frame. You really saw it really take into effect. So yeah, I mean, at this time I have to consider this a form of resistance. So yeah, I'd probably give it this color right there, shrink it, boom. Okay. Anyway, all right. So the TMA actually did cross below the slow-moving average, which is not good. Usually what happens is when it breaks the TMA slow-moving average, then it kind of like, teeters above slightly, and then, because really on the 4-hour, as you can see, the price was already in the overbought zone, and since then it's just been kind of floundering to the downside ever since, which was right around here. And really, unfortunately, the bulls were just not able to actually break 24.2, which has been a consistent resistance point for the past, man, since like, late July, which is like, yeah, 20th of July. So yeah, that's been a noted point of resistance here. So it's just something that needs to get broken in order to actually play around in these upper levels. And honestly, I'm excited for it. Once it does finally break, I'm gonna be opening up a fresh long, but that's not in the cards for the time being. All right, so we on the 1 hour we do have a money flow wane to the downside. Now we have the blue momentum wave is kind of leaving the significantly oversold point, but we do have money flow teetering to the downside here. It's very obvious of a downtrend. I don't like seeing that, um, especially if I'm a bull. I want to see momentum wave, and I want to see a higher high, um, something like this right here. You want to see stuff like that, but it's the exact opposite. So it's gonna be tough printing a fresh higher high on the not from the 19.9 zone. So that's tough. But we'll see. It is not over yet. All right, so the TSI here, it did cross here at the significantly oversold zone. But frankly, like how it is now, I do want to see a uh, really what I would really like to see is a true support. We didn't really get that. We kind of got this like wick to the downside, and I'm not too sure if that was the back test or not. So I don't like seeing this. I want to see stuff where maybe the 37 might have picked it up. No, it didn't. Maybe the 15 minute. Yeah, the 15 minute did pick it up. Um, yeah. So I wanted. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. I wanted to show you. So essentially, some bears, these whale bears, were really manipulating the price earlier today, and I think it was like on the 5 minute. Yeah, on the 5 minute it was pretty obvious right here. Price was trying to reverse, but these bears were manipulating the price and they were able to push the price an additional 2.2% to the downside. And which was unfortunate because this was a key level at 23.5 roughly. So my expectations are to actually pump a little bit to the right here to the upside and kind of continue to the downside for the time being until I see something otherwise. That's just not financial advice or anything like that, but that's kind of like what I'm kind of expecting from this standpoint, just because like if you look at the 1 hour prices below the 100 EMA, usually when that happens and there's cross downs, it's now it's just difficult to push the price down. It's easier to push it's easier to push the price down as opposed to up. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna close it out with like showing you the 1 hour indicators here. So all right, so MACD is actually pushing to the upside here. Now this isn't ideal. I don't like a low and then a lower low instance like that, and then it's not even a fresh wave. It was just like one big wave. I don't like that stuff in regards to overall momentum changes. What I really want to see is something that would happen like this, and it comes back up, and then like a higher low instance like that. That hasn't happened at all yet. So until I see that, I'm not really looking into longs. I'm kind of just playing the wait and see game. Okay. Now this is interesting. The TSI is attempting to cross upward for the first time, but as you can see, sometimes this is an instance where you could have attempts to push up to the upside and it ultimately comes down. So it's in combination with the exponential moving averages, but at this time, as long as price is above, 23 well, actually, yeah, 23,064, then yeah, price will continue to the upside. Just got to be very careful. All right, so slow moving average is actually pointing to the upside here. With the 1 hour, I usually see things like this, where it's like a fake out, where it's like, oh, we get a buy signal, and then, oh, nice, psych, we're going to roll over again. Now, on the 1 hour, it'll actually officially print like hidden bearish divergences and stuff like that. So at this time, this looks good, but I ultimately do expect to see like hidden bearish divergences pop out here and there, frankly. That's just how the cookie crumbles on the 1 hour. But from an intraday level, I am kind of expecting resistance here at 23, roughly somewhere around here at 23.5. Officially backtested as support. I'm sorry, backtested as resistance to create a lower high, and then to come back down to roughly maybe here at 22.1 to truly fulfill um, a back test at the supply line zone. Conversely, you know, Asia time has been rather bullish. Not gonna lie, the Asia times like after hour trading, usually it's like after 7 p.m. Central Time, has been bullish the past couple of weeks. So that's kind of interesting. Can we actually see like an FU move by the bulls to actually break above 23.5 and confirm this as true support to actually then have enough power to break through 24.2? I mean, I've been waiting for that for I don't even know how long. It's for sure it's been about like almost like a third of a 2/3 of a month basically. Been waiting for that hardcore. But anyway, yeah, I mean this is pretty good. I'm gonna leave it here. So far so good. I would like to see if I go to the hourly, um, if in fact the bulls want to make some waves, I want to see a higher low instance. I want to see a higher low from here. I want to see the price pump, come back, maybe even a double bottom or like a higher low instance and actually break through that. I want to see that for the bulls if we do intend to break above 24.2. Now, I believe the Fed minutes are tomorrow, so it's going to be super volatile before that time. Um, Honestly, I'm not going to trade until after the Fed minutes because that will ultimately decide in my opinion, the trajectory of where hedge funds are going. So I'm going to refrain from doing so. I believe that's what like at from my time it's like 2 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. I believe. So it's just best to kind of like just go wait and see moment and just kind of like wait for the position to kind of come to you. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got. I hope you are having a great start of the week. And yeah, if you haven't liked the video, please like it. Also share with your friends if you think this is fruitful information. Yeah, and let me know what you think. Are we gonna Are we gonna go to the upside? Let me know. Have a great day and bye.